Welcome, guys. This is JD Bioprimer, commonly known as Justin Dutra, coming to you guys on this awesome lesson of the one and only Neurobody Bio Training Program. Okay, cool name, huh? Well, today is lesson 2. Nice to see that you guys took on that brain body challenge to the other lesson. That's cool that you guys are challenging yourselves, and this is the place to do it. Let me tell you, it's just a place to reframe your brain towards working your neurology and physiological features of your body so they can collaborate and have that symbiotic workload that is needed to just be multitask, that kind of thing. So I'm happy that you guys are here. On this audio series, I'm going to talk about how your brain works. Like I said, this is going to be in the PDF file, but for today, I'm just going to talk to you guys on what actually takes place with your brain. And that's an awesome thing, we'll cover neurotransmitters a little bit today, different parts of the brain, the function, structure, which ones are, affiliated with your reptilian part of your neurology, that kind of stuff, okay? We're not going to go too in depth. Today's just a little, I'll call it a micro lesson of what we'll actually be doing, okay? So let's get started and let's go, okay? First, listening to this, this amazing training program, the bio training program, the NeuroBody, is this is going to change your brain. Hearing my words through this audio is going to change your brain by shaping thoughts and images, okay? And it is associated with, how you experience things. And you're experiencing this as we speak. And it's going to be encoded in your brain's circuitry so you guys can retain this information a lot more frequently and memorize it on a dime when you guys are confronted with knowledge. If you guys want to use this on you or on other people and help them, because I'm not just here for you. I want you guys to build an awesome community where everybody's getting involved in training their brain to have a six-pack so they too can have this amazing this amazing features that people are forgetting, especially these pro athletes. They have a six-pack of the body, but they don't have a six-pack of the mind, mainly because they don't work out their brain. So that's mainly why we're doing this, you guys. So throughout adulthood, it was traditionally thought that your brain was fixed. It was in a static form and nothing changed, okay? But, in recent years, neurobiologists have discovered that our brain continues to change throughout our lives through a phenomenon known as neuroplasticity, okay? This is your brain's ability to change throughout time with different types of environmental stimulus, the experience that you have, whether it be bad or good, okay? Now, there are 3 important functions of your brain, okay? The first is attention, which means focusing the mind on one thing at a time. Okay, this is the gateway to top-notch performance in math, reading, audio, and visual memory. It involves things like sensation, movement, emotions, and thinking. Okay, that's number 1. The number 1, like I said, is attention. Number 2 function is general memory. General memory is when we exercise our memory, okay? And we activate and maintain these circuits throughout the brain, okay? We'll talk about this later throughout the video courses that I'll be giving you, the audio, that kind of thing. And this should all be on your handout if you guys are more of a book type comprehension, okay? If you guys comprehend that better, okay? So don't feel upset that you guys won't be able to memorize this kind of stuff. It'll all be in your PDF file, okay? Now, you also have this thing called a working memory. Okay, this is the 3rd function, working memory. This is the most important mental function carried out by the adult human brain, as we use this to simultaneously keep multiple things in our mind and be able to manipulate them externally, okay? Now, those are the functions, okay? There's different pieces of your brain, and that's what you're going to get into now, okay, folks? Now, you have this thing called the frontal lobe. The frontal lobe are the CEO of the brain, okay? And they control brain processing. This is linked to, things like distinguishes us from animals. We could be able to look into the future and see the consequences of our actions by just mentally visualizing that. We could sequence things and is associated with executive control. All right. Now, controlled processing, okay? What is this? Controlled processing, which is associated with the frontal lobes. Okay, these are your automatic processing. They occur on this, okay? And these are the choices that are made with no sense of effort, okay? It's like driving a car. In the beginning, controlled processing is we're getting taught by other people, okay? Automatic processing is once you have had enough practice, you can do this on your own and you won't have the need of someone to teach you. This is automatic processing, okay? So don't get those two mixed up. And that's the best example I can give you guys if you guys want to know what controlled processing is and automatic processing. Okay? Now, controlled processing is meant in the frontal lobes of the brain, okay? The anterior part of the brain. Now, automatic processing is centered towards the back of your brain, okay? This includes your occipital, parietal, and temporal lobes, okay? Now, this is all associated in this little photo I gave you guys as an introduction so you guys can know, okay? Now, what is cognition? If you guys know what cognition is, this involves, utilizing the whole brain and all the special senses, these 5 senses, okay? And that's all you need to know, okay? And yeah, you have different hemispheres. You have the right hemisphere and left hemispheres, and they all have different specializations, and it's concerned with different processes. Okay, so and to get this in as layman terms, the brain works in unity. If it's the left hemisphere, if it's the right, they both work together, so you guys can have an easier life, okay? It's just that simple. Now, how do we enhance this? We use it by something called information. You already know this, but it's the insight, the insight that you gain from information and how the brain works. And this is the unit of exchange of the brain, okay? It could be anything from the chemical exchanges from your neurons, from the things you get taught long-term, short-term memory, that kind of thing, okay? And everything is mostly interconnected, as like I said, with the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere, okay? Now, there's a different network of fibers and nerve cells that are physically separated from each other. Those things are interconnected but not interconnected, okay? Now, what I mean by this is that they have these things called, what are they called? Let me think. Entanglement, that's what it's called. There's this thing called entanglement, which they're not physically connected, but it's kind of like with a cell phone. You're connected, but you're not really connected by this thing called entanglement. It's kind of like a giant bowl of spaghetti. Think of it that way, because that's the best way I've learned by it, okay? But not physically connected to each other. So make sure you have that key down, okay? Think of it as a giant bowl of spaghetti. That's my best example to remember those kind of cells. And know this is one thing that I've got taught by an awesome professor. He said, cells that wire together, fire together. So like I said, things are interconnected. They work in symbiotic form, so they all can work together to create an optimal function. Okay, that's as good as it gets. This can lead to, high processing, such as, memory, creativity, and one of the most important things is imagination. Okay? And the keynote to take out of this, okay, neuroplasticity. The brain remains modifiable throughout our lives, meaning we can change its biochemistry or neurochemistry in a way that, um, that is based on how we do things in our daily life. Whether it be play, juggling is a good, awesome way to stimulate your neocortex and nucleus accumbens and hypothalamus in ways that increase it. And by consistently doing that, it gives off a good consistent stimulation within the brain as well as enhances it. And as soon as you stop that for like a week, you actually decrease the hypothalamus's size. So what you do modifies the size and function of your brain. That's key. And the better you do this, the better you enhance it, the less likely you're able to develop neurological diseases, neurodegenerative diseases, okay? So that's key, folks. I hope this lesson was awesome. I enjoyed it. I like coming to you guys with this cool info. I hope you guys have an awesome day. Stay young, longevity, be healthy, and I'll see you guys on the next lesson with some workouts, okay? Take care.